Hi, my name is Josiah Henderson. I'm the math teacher here at Options for Youth Carmichael, and I'm going to be working with you this summer for the July intersession. So thanks for watching my video. I want to give you this brief rundown of what to expect for the summer. So in this brief presentation, I want to go over units versus courses, basic pacing for your work or class, how to use Edmentum, which is our online curriculum, and finishing your class early, and then how to get tutoring, and then some final notes at the end. Units versus courses. So some of you might totally understand this already, but every year there's always a few questions, so that's why I wanted to address it. So you're all taking at least one course over the summer here with me at Options. Each course is composed of 5 units. So think of them as 5 sections, 5 chunks of the course, of the class. At your traditional high school, at Center or El Camino or San Juan High or so forth, you're completing 5 units over the course of a whole semester. So from August to December, you're basically doing 5 units, but you don't think about it. They don't dress it that way. But on paper, on your transcript, you are getting 5 units of credit. Here, we block them into those like more discrete, explicit blocks, chunks, each unit, basically. Okay, so a lot of you are taking Math 3A or B, so I use that as an example here. So if you were taking Integrated Math 3A, you're going to be doing these 5 separate, sorry, one moment, these 5 separate units. One at a time, finishing Unit 1, moving on to 2, then to 3, and so forth. And a lot of you are actually doing more than one course or attempting more than one course, which is great. So for example, maybe you're doing a math class and a government class. So then that's actually 10 units that you're going to be needing to complete with me this summer. Okay, so let's talk about pacing. Here I've got, and my camera looks like it's blocking part of the calendar, perfect. But here's a calendar of our available days this summer. Now, Edmentum is going to be opening up on Saturday, July 1st, which is really odd. It's the first year that the first has fallen on a weekend, but that is the day that like legally we can open that curriculum for you all. So even though it's a weekend, that's when your Edmentum online coursework becomes available. And normally I don't want people to have to work on weekends, but being the summer, being a short schedule, condensed, and it becomes available then, I do want all of you to get started right away this Saturday on the 1st. Now, let's see here, pacing. Generally speaking, we're going to need to do at least 1 unit each week. Now, that's just accounting for a single course. I noticed that almost all of you, all of my students this summer are attempting 2 or more courses. So think about it this way, because your return date needs to be, because you need to be finished with your summer class before you return to your regular traditional school, you need to have all your work done at least the very day prior to returning. Now, Center High School students are returning on the 7th. Down here, the day prior is a Sunday. So that means your coursework needs to all be done on the day my camera looks like it's blocking on the 4th right here. That's only going to give you 5 weeks exactly to do your courses with me. So if you're doing just a single course, let's say you're doing Math 3A and that's it, you're not attempting to do any other classes with me, then 1 unit a week will be good enough. You'll need to have Unit 1 done here, Unit 2 done here on the 14th, and so forth, and then you'll have Unit 3, 4, and 5 done right on time. I can have it graded and send the information to Center in time for everything to go smoothly. If you are attempting more than 1 course, though, a lot of you wanted to do 2 math courses, or maybe math and Spanish, math and government, something like that, then that whole schedule I just laid out needs to get done in double time, meaning you need to do 2 units a week if you want to do 2 courses this summer, 3 units a week if you want to do 3 courses this summer, because you have to be done in time to return to your other school. Now, some of you are going to other schools besides Center, but I noticed that those return dates are the same week. Um, so I know that San Juan is later the same week on the 9th or 10th. And a lot of our other area schools are all going back around that same time. So really, it's not that much of a difference. I still want you all to be doing at least 1 unit a week to get 1 course done. And if you want to attempt 2 or 3 classes this summer with me, you need to be doing 2 or 3 units a week. That's to make it as simple and as clear and basic as possible. If you're not meeting that pace, you're going to be falling behind, and we need to talk about our expectations. Are we going to get 3 courses done if we're not even getting done 1 or 2 or 3 units a week to kind of get that done in time? It's going to go fast. It feels like we've got plenty of time, and the summer is like wide open. But if you're going on vacation, if you're doing football or cheer or any sort of other like outside activity, it's going to go by fast, faster than we'd all like it to. So start early. Even though we have the 4th of July coming up this Tuesday, I want all of you working hard on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to just jam through a unit, get as much done as you can, because I want all of you to be having a unit done on Friday the 7th. And again, just can't reiterate it enough. If you're doing 2 or 3 classes, then you should be aiming for 2 or 3 units completed that first week on the 7th, and then 2 or 3 every other week thereafter. Okay, work early, reach out for help as soon as possible, and I'll reiterate that as we go on. But meaning, don't put off your summer work until a week from now or 2 weeks from now. If you do that, you're not going to get it done in time, and it would have been for nothing. So in the interest of you being the most successful here, work early, work this weekend and every single day. On average, folks, it's about 4 to 5 hours of work, maybe more, maybe less for some of you. But on average, we're talking 4, 5, 6 hours a day to get this done on time. Okay, now I'd like to talk about the online curriculum itself. Each of you has received like a welcome email with some information in it for your specific logins. So some of this is redundant, but I wanted to put it here also. Here's your website to go to for Edmentum. It's login.edmentum.com. If you just go to edmentum.com, you get the corporate page. You want the student page, like the actual curriculum, and it's login.edmentum.com. So make sure you do that. And then you'll need to type in these 3 things: the account, your username, that's obviously just your specific, and then your password. So look to those welcome emails I sent to get that information. The account is the same for all of us. It's OLVS, and that should be in your welcome email. And then look to your specific email for your username and password. Okay, now here's once you get into Edmentum, I only opened up 1 course for each of you. Even if you are attempting more than 1, I only opened up your first one first. So you'll click on that when you get inside Edmentum, and you'll see it there, your courses lined up. I chose for this example Integrated Math 3, Part A. So what we're seeing here is kind of the layout of what the screen will be when you access one of your courses. Kind of an outline, and what we're looking at are the different lessons. So this specific unit, this is Unit 1 of Math 3A, and it has 5 different lessons, and those are here. So arithmetic with polynomials, factoring polynomials, and so forth. And then it continues on the right. So here's the 4th and the 5th lesson. And then there's some more parts to it. We've got a course activity down here. So that's something you'd have to do. And a unit activity right here near the end of the unit. There's a unit practice. That's something new they added this year. I don't think you're getting a grade for the unit practice, but it's probably the best interest for you to do it still, because it's just a few questions to practice before you do the test. So at the very bottom, you can kind of see here with my camera in the way, the post test. That is going to be uh, cu- um, the cumulative test that covers everything that came prior in that unit. Okay, and then to kind of go back here, the individual lessons, like this one right here, arithmetic with polynomials. Each lesson is composed of a tutorial, and then a little practice section, and then a mastery test. The mastery test is like a quiz. Those are usually, well, they do change it from year to year, but usually it's been 10 question quizzes. You can retake those. If you don't pass it the first time, it should let you attempt it again. It will lock after a certain number of attempts, maybe 3. So if it locks on you, all you got to do to unlock it is to go through your tutorial again. The tutorial is the real meat and heart of the whole course, okay? So the collection of all these tutorials. The tutorials are essentially the lessons. They're going to be presenting information and doing a little bit of practice inside the tutorial, and then lead you on to doing the official practice and then the quiz from that content, and then move on to the new lesson down below. So let's look inside what a tutorial looks like and what you can expect to see there. Okay, so this is just one of the example tutorials I picked from Math 3A. This one was called Modeling with 2- and 3-Dimensional Figures. So these are essentially slideshows. Over in this corner on the top right, we can see some information like this is page 15 out of 23. So not too bad, only about 23 pages long for this example. You're going to open yours up. You're going to click through the first few pages, which are just intro, and then it gets to stuff like what we see here, which is the actual meat of the content, the actual depth of this. So what I'm hoping you're all doing is reading through each page, taking notes on it as you go, taking notes on examples, following along with the examples, using that later when you're taking a quiz, using that later when you're taking even your post-test. I want you to use your notes that you take on your own when you're testing. It's only going to be helpful for you if you're just getting more exposure to each concept as you go, and writing it down is going to even double that. So this is what a typical page looks like in your tutorial. And then you'll get to sections like this in the tutorial, a little lesson activity. So it's kind of like a performance test to test you and quiz you in practice on what's been introduced prior. Now, there's sections like this one here, which is just like a multiple choice. You know, it's like select the different versions that are correct, it looks like. So for this example, for this question, part A that we see, the formula D is equal to M divided by V. And I think they're asking us to, how many different ways can we rearrange this equation and still have it be true or accurate? So I'm thinking we could pick more than one. Maybe it's these. I'm just making this up for an example. You would check those off in the little boxes and then submit when you're ready. Pretty straightforward. If you don't submit your work, it's not saving it, and I won't be able to see it or access it. And later when I go in to check, it'll look like no one's done it. It'll look like you maybe were on that page, but you moved on somehow without doing the actual questions. So it's very important that you click that submit button each time and save that work. Otherwise, me and the tutor won't be able to access it and confirm you've done anything. Here's another example, the continuing of that last question. This one is a little more typical, honestly, so I wanted to make sure you saw this, where you can actually type in here in these little boxes. You're going to select and type in what is the volume, it looks like in this case, of the carbon dioxide and of the helium and of the chlorine. So you're going to actually type in some work and not just like click boxes. So be prepared for that, okay? Next, something similar here. It looks like we have to explain which gas results in the heaviest weight possible and by how many kilograms using this model. So you'll be doing your math essentially on your own, on paper, and typing in your final answer here. And then again, just to reiterate, hit that submit button, or else I won't be able to access your work, okay? one other thing, which I should have shown on the last page, is that if for some reason you have an issue and you need to go back in and redo some work that got left blank, um, on the top right of your Edmentum screen, where it shows how many pages we're on out of the total, there's also a save and exit button. That save and exit button will work to save work on the page. Unfortunately, it exits you, right? So it'll bounce you back out, but at least it does save the work. So if for some reason you're in a situation where you've got blanks on your page and I'm telling you, hey, you got to go back and finish your work, what happened? There's still an option to go back in and save new work. Even if that submit button has been used, the save and exit at the top right will still allow you to save new work. Okay. And just to reiterate some stuff on Edmentum, complete all parts that are available to you. And what I mean are by that is the tutorials, like I showed you an example of, the practices that follow, mastery tests, those are like a quiz that follows each tutorial. Salt and peppered throughout the unit will be these unit or course activities, which are, they're going to look like more tutorials, but they're kind of like a big isolated performance task. So you'll need to do those. Those are graded as well. And then finally, for each unit, the post-test. Okay, the post-test is going to be locked. I will unlock it when I confirm that you've completed all of the previous work. Okay, so I'm going to keep those post-tests locked. They all should be already now. You are responsible for basically getting all this done as soon as you can. When you're finished with one, message me and I will, or if you're with me in a meeting, tell me, and I can unlock it after I check your work. Quick note, your unit is complete when all these components are completed and passed with at least a 70% or higher. So just so that's clear, if you've been working, that's awesome. I need you to be working constantly to get this course done in time. But it doesn't mean that a unit's done until all the parts from that unit are finished by you, checked by me, you've taken your post-test and passed all those mastery tests and all those post-tests with at least a 70% or higher. I didn't put this in here, but post-tests can be like retaken. Inevitably, eventually you're going to need to retake a post-test probably if you don't pass the first time, and that's not a problem. So don't stress and freak out. It's fine. I'll need to unlock it again. So I probably want to review with you or have our tutor review with you before you retest, and we're not just blowing through the thing and randomly clicking, right? So if you need to end up retaking a test, it's not the end of the world, but I'll want to review and check in and see what happened, and we can talk about some examples and see how to do those properly for the future, and then you can retake it and still get full credit. Okay. You may take your post-tests on your own, but not strictly during our appointment times. So message me through email or text when you're ready, and I can check your work and open your tests. So what I'm saying here is we're not making you distance learning virtual summer school students wait until our twice a week meetings to take post-tests. You can take those on your own time whenever that is, like at 7 o'clock at night or on a Saturday or whatever. It doesn't have to be in a meeting with me or our tutor like it has been in the past. So you need to do all this other work. It'll be open for you and available Saturday, July 1st to start. Post-tests are locked. A quick note that I did not include on this slideshow is if you're working ahead and you're jamming and you're doing great, don't wait for me to unlock that post-test to move on to the next section. I would like you to make as much progress as you can on your own and ahead of schedule. So if you've reached a point where you're ready for a post-test and you message me and I said, okay, great, give me a few minutes, I'll check that out. And if I'm taking too long and if I don't get it checked in time, move on to your next unit, get some more progress made elsewhere. As soon as I'm humanly available, I will get back to you and unlock that test. So you can take the test as you'd like, but don't wait for me. Don't wait all weekend, right, to take a post-test, move on to the next section, to the next unit, make progress elsewhere. So you're still making a good pace to get a unit done each week, okay? We can always kind of circle back and do those post-tests later. I hope that's clear. And if you do have any questions on any of this material or what I'm presenting, please feel free to reach out with your questions. Okay, tutoring. So I have a summer tutor this year named Patrick. He's been with us a couple years each summer. Here's his email. It's his full name, Patrick Landrum, Landrum, at ofy.org. So I'm not sure exactly what his structure is going to be for tutoring. I think he's going to use one dedicated link to do his tutoring meetings. But because we're doing this through Zoom, it sounds like he's going to limit it to 2 or maybe 3 students at most per hour. So please reach out to Patrick soon and early and as frequent as you like to get tutoring appointments with him if you're having any trouble or need any questions answered about your class. Also, I'll be helping you at our Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday appointments, but I can tell you right now, that's not going to be enough time to get all your questions answered and get all the help you potentially need in just those 2 appointments a week. So I want you reaching out to Patrick early and often and regularly for extra help, because he's here to work with you basically 5 days a week, all day. And I don't have that much time, as much time to give you, but Patrick will have a lot more. So please take advantage of that. If you require more help, reach out to Patrick. I may recommend that you meet with Patrick for extra help. So what I mean by this last point is that if I'm monitoring everybody's progress and I see that student X, Y, and Z are not keeping pace, I'm going to be reaching out to parents to recommend, hey, I think we need more time with a tutor if this student is not keeping pace on their own. So just be prepared. I may be reaching out to offer and encourage you to get extra help. All right, last notes here. Don't fall behind on this class. I'm going to be monitoring your progress and updating your parents regularly, as often as I can, daily, weekly, bi-weekly. I will be offering to help, encouraging you to work with tutors, spend more time on the program if I see students are falling behind and not doing this completely independently, completely on their own, and not hitting that 1 week, that 1 unit a week pace or more. Just a quick note, at the 2-week mark, that's like halfway through the month of July 14th, I'll be reaching out to parents of students who aren't making satisfactory progress. Essentially, I do worry about students who aren't working hard early, getting enough progress made early, because then that means you're trying to get all 5 of your units or more, if you're doing more than 1 class, done in like 2 weeks or 1 week, and that's not realistic and not healthy, and you're certainly not going to be learning the material even if we're getting through it all and passing it. So what I'm looking for is to see you making regular, at least 1 unit a week progress, to be kind of in good standing and kind of feel safe and feel like you're going to finish this in time. But I will start to worry and reach out to parents and you and set up meetings to talk about how is this going to work and what should our plan of attack be to finish in time and get you successfully completed with your courses. Okay? All right, so just some reiterations here. Work hard, 4 hours or more a day is what it's going to take to get done with this class in time, especially like you're all doing, math classes, which are harder, let's be honest, harder and more time consuming, more mentally, challenging than maybe some other courses could be. Communicate with me and communicate with Patrick, our tutor, if you're falling behind, if you have questions, if you're feeling frustrated or worried. Communicate with us so that we can meet with you, get you help, answer your questions, get you back on track. And just again, can't stress it enough, at least 1 unit completed and tested each week. So let's just make it easy and say every Friday. We should be having a new unit done that week's Friday or sooner. And last up, I look forward to meeting everybody and working with you all. And thank you for watching my orientation video. And I know I won't be able to talk with you or answer questions on the weekend, but I will be here Monday on the July 3rd. So even though I'll be meeting with students and busy doing things, please reach out with any emails or texts, and I'll be happy to get back to you, throughout the day as I get those questions and messages. Okay. So thanks again. Take care. Happy 4th of July, and I'll meet you all either on Monday the 3rd or on Thursday the 6th. Thank you. Bye-bye.